Did you know that there are 4 different subtypes of INFPs? We've already talked about the dominant subtype and the creative subtype in 2 other videos, maybe over there. And now we're going to use Decode Your Personality, a book from Dr. Dario Nardi, and we're going into the 3rd subtype, the normalizing subtype. Let's see if I can say subtype again. It's called the faithful supporter, okay, INFP-N. I'm going to read through this. I'm a dominant subtype, and maybe I can talk a little bit about my differences and some of the aspects of INFPs that I've seen in coaching clients, in the communities that I run, and just around the world and in the internet. All right, so here we go. Faithful supporter INFP-N. More conventional and specialized than other INFPs. This is the normalizing subtype. I think I'm going to laugh every time I say the word subtype now. These INFPs function well in mainstream society. They have brain wiring that is more the norm of the general population. They tend to work hard, are extremely loyal to loved ones and friends, and do their best to be beacons of calm. They have adopted a chart the course style. So right out of the gate, we're talking about something that I think a lot of INFPs want, which is to fit in, to blend in with society in some way, because we often feel like we're outcasts, no matter what type of INFP you are. There's definitely the feeling of like, I just don't fit in anywhere I go, and people tell me that I'm strange and weird, and I probably am a bit, but I kind of want to fit in. And also, I kind of don't want to fit in. And there's this back and forth push all the time with INFPs. I think this one seems to already be more leaning into introverted sensing. The creative type before, we talked about how it's got the starburst pattern and it's a bit more all over the place in terms of passions and desires. And the dominant type seemed to be more focused and decisive and managing, which could be leaning into extroverted thinking, which is really interesting. If you think about it, like how I always explain the cognitive functions is that there are like these different parts of you. It's the fellowship of your mind. It's a questing party within your psyche. And we have these different characters that if we just build different relationships with them, or better relationships, or give them some XP, give them some spotlight in our life, then it's going to emerge into a different relationship. And our personality type is going to be affected by that and changed. As INFPs, we spend a lot of time talking to the soul, introverted feeling, the explorer, extroverted intuition, the guardian, introverted sensing, and the commander, extroverted thinking. But if you just imagine having a closer relationship to one of those characters, or having 2 of those characters have a closer relationship to each other, then it shifts the dynamics of your personality type. And then you bring in the other 4 functions too, and it creates a lot more nuance and granularity, which can be good, but also it can create a lot of confusion. And the reason why I said it seems to be leaning into introverted sensing, the guardian, or maybe even Enneagram 6, is that it's talking about working hard, extremely loyal to loved ones and friends, being a beacon of calm. I think INFPs can resonate with those words, but again, we're talking about how much is it present within your personality type and within your day-to-day actions. Like I can say for me, extreme loyalty to loved ones and friends is something that I feel like I embody, but also I don't spend that much time with my friends. I spend a lot of time with my family, and I'm very loyal to them, but it's different, you know? And it wasn't always like that because I didn't have a family before. And back then, friends were important, of course. I've been in Japan for about 18 years now, and I lived in Korea for a year, and so I've moved around. So friendship is important, but also I know that I could make friends wherever I go. I'm not saying that to puff up, but I'm saying I've been through it enough that I know it's possible. Did I clarify it enough? I hope so. Their brain wiring is relatively even across various regions, giving them a more linear style and an even distribution of skills. Imagine checkered farm fields. Isn't checkered farm a brand of ham or something like that? That's peppered, I don't know. I've been out of the States for too long. Every skill is connected to every other skill in some way. Though the INFP may need to walk a lot down particular mental paths to get from here to there in a satisfying way. They tend to rely on patience and hard work. They excel at speaking and listening, especially listening, as well as reading. They also usually excel at language-based reasoning such as linear deduction and abstract concepts. On the minus side, body kinesthetic skills are mediocre. Although they possess endurance, they must take care. His writing style is so hard to read sometimes. Not because it's bad, just because it's different. It's different from like the words that I expect to come up next. Although they possess endurance, they must take extra care to stay safe when doing physical activities. All right, so the picture of the brain that it has here is it's basically lit up around all the edges, and then it's got like checkered, as he says, as opposed to the starburst pattern from the Curious Dreamer, which is like a centralized node, and then everything else expands out from there. And then the Noble Champion is like the front half of the brain is all connected, and the back is like, we exist too. And the next one is kind of all over the place. So as I said, every skill is connected, and it's more linear, which is interesting. Again, feels like it's leaning into introverted sensing. This is me just theory crafting because he's got all the brain science. But if you think about introverted sensing, the Guardian as being methodical and more planned out. They want things to go a certain way because that's the way that things have always gone, and not wanting to shake the boat or recreate the wheel in that sense, then it makes sense that the brain would be wired like this too. And all the regions that are marked in the map, a lot of them do relate to speaking and listening. And he said especially listening. So these regions over here near the ears, surprise, surprise. And language-based reasoning such as linear deduction. I don't even know what linear deduction is. Abstract concepts, sure, which is counter to what I was talking about being related to introverted sensing, right? You know, they're all connected though. I understand that. On the minus side, body kinesthetic skills are mediocre. Me too. I've got so many injuries. Oh man, just I did sports and stuff, not because I was good at it, but just because I was drawn to like breakdancing and skating, I guess like opposing culture, and taekwondo, martial arts, things like that. Soccer, I did play soccer. Really bad, okay? Not extroverted sensing soccer, but I just showed up, you know? And the other sports and things came through a lot of repetition and introverted sensing practice, just going over it again and again and again to build in those neural pathways. So I imagine this personality type, subtype, would benefit from that if that's what they want to do. You know, if you want to be good at a sport or something, then putting in the reps, repeating it over and over again is probably going to be how this type picks it up. What stands out brain-wise is their capacity for contemplation. Facts, figures, symbols, metaphors, memories, stories. They ruminate long and deep with these. They may also show a back brain bias in which they can come off as notably introverted until they open up around what's interesting and important to them. This also means they may react slowly as they aim to thoroughly understand something, find ways to give genuine practical help. That's cool. I've definitely seen a lot of these kinds of INFPs, it feels like. Really heavy into stories and memories, facts and figures too, contemplation. It sounds appealing, yeah. And again, leaning into the Guardian introverted sensing that may react slowly as they aim to thoroughly understand something, find ways to make sure that it's genuine and practical, contemplating it first, really taking it in. I think a lot of INFPs speak slowly, but some speak very slowly. And that could be this type, where it's just like, okay, I'm going to take this in and I'm going to take a walk around the garden of my brain. I know my brain's not here. I just slowly walking around and picking up details, looking at the leaves, looking at the grass and rocks and feeling the breeze, recollecting over the past, how was this before? And what does this mean? And springboarding a little into the explore, different metaphors, different ideas, and then coming back with some deep, profound insight. When given a chance to shine, these INFPs can get into top colleges and jobs. Or if not, they usually find a place to prove their value in a traditional career, even a highly technical one, or in a large institution. Ideally, their job taps their imagination and people skills. Whatever their role, they may easily downplay, even sacrifice themselves for the greater good. With their patience, they can be among the most thoughtful, caring, and stubborn of types. Cool. So I get a lot of messages from INFPs and emails asking about like, okay, I've gone into computer science and is it right for me? Because I know I'm an INFP and, part of me doesn't fully resonate with the computer science, but also I'm intrigued by it. But then I think I should be a writer or an author or a counselor because that's what seems to be good for INFPs, and I don't know what to do. I've met plenty of INFPs who are studying to be a doctor or a scientist, not just computer science, but other science. And I think this type fits better for that, yeah? I think this sentence is true for a lot of INFPs, but I can definitely see those INFPs that I'm thinking of, past clients and stuff, fit into this sentence of whatever their role, they may easily downplay, even sacrifice themselves for the greater good. Like, that just really rings true for them, for what I know about them. Just keeping their head down and putting so much effort and energy into supporting other people and helping maintain consistency, doing a job maybe that they don't like in order to maintain that introverted sensing through line of stability. And then sacrificing. I think introverted feeling has like I don't think fetish is the right word, a thing for sacrificing and martyrdom. I know also ETJs, when they get really stressed out, they might feel like I'm a martyr and they might show up as self-sacrificial in some ways. And I definitely feel that about myself quite often too. It's like, I'll do it. I'll be the one to do it because I can deal with it. I can sacrifice myself and be reborn as a phoenix. That is how, no, that's not how it works. Don't do that. No. That was the Normalizing Faithful Supporter INFP-N subtype. And I hope that if you are this type, you got some solace from it. That you're like, oh, okay, that's me. That's me. I can do this now. Like, I understand more about myself. My path is okay. If I don't fit in with all the other 16 personality types, nor 63 personality types, maybe this is the one. This is the one of 64 that fits you best. Maybe. And if it does, I'd like to know how you've not dealt with it, but how you've utilized it and how you plan on wrapping your life around your personality type in a way that makes it fulfilling to you, as well as the people that you're related to in your community, your friends, partners, the world at large. You can check out the other video over here for the dominant subtype and over here for the creative subtype. Peace.